right. Go ahead and open up questions for Coach.
Coach Sanderson, now that your team's won twice in a row, could you assess the performance with this year's team and compare it a little bit for yourself to last year when you won your first one as the coach at Penn State?
Well, I don't know if you ever can. The first one's probably always going to be a little extra special, but I'm real happy for the guys. I think they wrestled great. They went out and did what they needed to do. Not everybody quite reached their goals, and as a coach, your heart kind of goes more with them because you kind of expect to win, and so the guys that do win, it's just. But I'm really happy for the guys. I think they wrestled. I mean, we had some incredible performances.
Cael, you have a lot of, almost everybody's coming back, including one of the Alton boys, that type of thing. I know you probably don't want to hear the dynasty, but people are going to start suggesting that about it. Is how could Penn State possibly stop? How do you look at this?
Well, it's all a process. As a coaching staff, we just try to make progress. We try to make sure our kids are getting better. We try to make sure they have what they need to at least put everything in front of them so they have the choice to be successful. And that's what we're going to keep doing. We just try to make sure they're having fun, and obviously that's their choice also. But you can see that that's kind of the key for this team.
Cael, I don't need to remind you what Penn State has gone through the last 6 months. What does this win do for that community?
Well, I think we have great fans, and if anything, it's brought the Penn State family closer together. When there's adversity, you tend to circle the wagons a little bit, and you come together. And I think that's what the university's done. This is Penn State Athletic. This is incredible athletic department with incredible people, and if something bad happens, it's one person, and I think this team is anything you can do for the people that support you and make them happy. It feels good.
Right there.
Cael, Frank, we talked to Frank a little earlier, and he said, I guess after he kind of banged his knee up, he was feeling a little sorry for himself, and you came in the room there and said some things to him. Would you maybe care to elaborate on, what you said to Frank and how you tried to pick him up there?
Well, that's just part of the process. I don't like to get after kids too much. If I do, it's usually calculated, I guess, and he just needed just be reminded who he was and what his purpose was, and he didn't take a whole lot.
Up front.
David Taylor obviously came home as a champion, but he wrestled with a dominance, and I know you've said a lot of good things about him, but could you elaborate on his performance here and what it means to you as his coach to see David come out of here by reaching his goal with that kind of wrestling ability?
I couldn't be more happy for David. I'm not a history buff in any way, but I don't know if there's ever been a more dominant performance at the NCAA tournament than what we just saw right there. 4 pins and a tech fall in the finals. I was just sitting back like everybody else and just saying, wow.
Well, right here, and then you'll be next. Go ahead.
People were impressed by your performances at college level. Are you now impressed by these guys that you're watching on your team?
Oh yeah. You've got to. When you have a guy that really wants to be successful and he'll do anything you ask him to do, and they take advantage of all the opportunities they have in front of them, they go out there and get after it. You can't really do anything more than just sit back and smile and just be grateful. I think that's. I said that first of the week. What's the key to your team having a good tournament? And just you got to be grateful. You got to be grateful for the opportunity and grateful for every opportunity to step out on the mat. And I think the guys that are, they're successful.
Go ahead.
Cael, over here. What did you think of the takedown call in the overtime of Quentin's match?
Well, I'm not the referee. I'd like to be sometimes, but, you know, I think it was, I think it was a takedown. You know, I don't think anybody was upset about the takedown call. You know, you like to see, well, yeah, I mean, that's, no, it was a rough match, I feel, for Quentin, but, you know, you got to give Cornell credit. You know, he did what he had to do to win that match. Quentin's not an easy kid to beat.
Cael, Ed Ruth seems like such an enigma, and his personality doesn't seem to fit maybe the other guys on this team. Just because his hair is green. But the fact that, how do you allow him to have his personality and still compete as he does?
Well, I mean, that's just part of being a coach. You know, I can't expect these guys to be me in anything. You know, I just try to help them, and you know, as a coaching staff, Coach Cunningham and Coach Cody, and we can't tell them, you know, you just try to stay out of their way, really, and make sure they're doing the big things. And if Ed Ruth wants to color his hair green, well, just say, well, you better back it up out on the mat, you know, and be Ed Ruth and be the guy that can color his hair green because you're that good, and he certainly did that.
Cael, Nico had lost to Sanders and Pirelli both twice this year. What did you think of his run, and do you think maybe he proved something to himself that?
Well, when I think of Nico, he just believes in himself so much. He works so hard. He's determined, and you see he uses every second of the match, and that's what it takes for a true freshman to come in here and to do that and to continue to make progress. And I'm very proud of him. You know, to make the NCAA finals as a true freshman, that's an extraordinary accomplishment, something that he can be real proud of and really build upon. I mean, he hates losing as much as anyone I've seen, and you know, he won't rest.
Over here on the left.
Cael, in Quentin's match, you said it was a takedown. Did you think maybe that there could have been a stall call earlier in that match with Quentin obviously pushing the action?
Well, I think stalling's a judgment call, and you know, that's up to the official. You know, I don't like to see judgment calls. I don't know how many great sports have judgment calls, and just, you know, that's just the way it is.
Over here on the right.
Cael, this is the second national title in a row for you guys, and I believe 4 of your 5 finalists are back next year. Is this the start of a dynasty?
We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. You know, we've had a lot of good fortune, and we have a lot to be grateful for. We have some very good wrestlers. We have a lot of great support. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. You know, try to make progress every day, and whatever happens after that, so be it.
Here on the front.
Cael, you guys obviously have a lot of depth. How soon after tonight did you start thinking of personnel decisions in terms of what you're going to do with some of these younger guys next year or down the road?
Well, it's you know, it's up to them, really. You know, I'm not going to sit here and you know, I mean, you have to plan 3 years out at least as a head coach, or not a head coach, but as a coaching staff, and that's what we do, and that's recruiting. And when you recruit a kid, you kind of look at them a couple years down the road. So. You know, we'll do what's in the best interest of the kid and the team, and you know, we expect to be better every year.
Right here in the front.
Coach Sanderson, Olympic trials are in a couple of weeks. David Taylor mentioned he might want to compete. You've got people in the Nittany Lion Club who are expected to do very well. How quickly do you switch your focus to that style, and possibly even for yourself? Clearly the amount of work put into that freestyle program in State College has been tremendous. Just your thoughts about that challenge ahead.
Well, I don't know. You know, we have several guys in there that can certainly do some damage in freestyle, and they've just got to get, you know, wild card or whatever it is to get into the tournament. And we know they want to wrestle. We know they're going to be a force for USA Wrestling in the future, and but they want in there. So.
This will be a final question, Coach. I need to get out there. So.
Real quickly, David Taylor, I think one of them said that it inspired to see what you did on the mat last year. Did you think about that effect, what effect you could have in your team, what you did returning to action?
Well, I don't know if that's true or not, you know, I mean, that's, obviously he's gonna say that when somebody asks him that question, but, you know, I just, yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, we got guys that don't need any motivation, you know, like I said, it's more of just, you know, I feel like my job is making sure that they don't forget their shoes, and that's about it, you know, and Coach Cunningham and Coach Cody done a great job with these guys.
Thank you so much, Coach. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thanks.